Here comes the motherfucking G, pimp type in your motherfucking hood, like that should be understood. We ain't stopping, nigga, nah, we ain't falling, we ain't quit. When you see me wanna stop, nigga, we all bullshitting in this motherfucker. With a sucker rusher, put the things on it, make him see some stars. Then rain on it, keep your aim on it. It ain't all about the hen and the hay. You see me in the streets, I bet you think I wanna play. Look here, I ain't got time. Look at me close, but through all the bullshit, seeing me blind, I got a purpose in this motherfucker. I'm in the show, if I can make it, you can make it in this motherfucker. Ain't no other brother gonna do it for you. He might help, but when it all boils down, still in it for yourself. You got a family, I got a family, and goddamn it, be time to let that real ass man in me take a stand for me. I got plans to be set tight, and ain't shit finna fuck up my plans to get right. Shit might seem way out of reach for fuck negative. Better get with better things and touch better shit. You, and all the sneaky shit that your ass trying to do. You been peeping on my pimpin', looking for a downfall. And I ain't gon' even hang around y'all. I found y'all niggas to be false and fake assholes, but a thing, what they do, they gon' give it up. Put your hand in my shit, I breaks it off. Evolve, yeah. MJG, we gon' get straight out the mind of a nigga who done seen the light up all night, trying to figure out why shit ain't right. Uptight, ecstasy done got the best of me, got me grit my teeth and I can't go to sleep. Feel the beat, bump. Beating up a nigga back, bout to bust out the trunk. We crunk, we dumb, if a nigga won't funk. But I don't really think the motherfuckers want none. Pimp nigga, South nigga, running his mouth nigga. Pull out a map and choose another route nigga. Prisoner of war and I can't get out nigga. Mask face, drop it off like it's a drought nigga. Swab house nigga, big ball and MJ. Space age pimpin', doing it the play away. Underground, independent, making more dough. Hustling cause no dough is a no-no. Fuck hoes, let me hold something I can fold. Thinking you fly when that shit you poppin' is old. Cold-blooded like Rick with this rap shit. And if a nigga wanna scrap shit, I don't give a fuck. You, and all the sneaky shit that your ass trying to do. You been peeping on my pimpin', looking for a downfall. And I ain't gon' even hang around y'all. I found y'all niggas to be false and fake assholes, but a thing, what they do, they gon' give it up. Put your hand in my shit, I breaks it off. Evolve, yeah. MJG, we don't give a fuck. I got that pimp shit you wanna roll with. Stay in control, stay on your toes with. Never fold with, behold with. Back on the hose with. Eat lunch, change clothes, been rolling on Voline to the side, fold doors with plenty of tint. I got my windows black in. Soon as you ride clean, you let them haters back in. Bitches be acting like soap operas. Fuck you hoes, go and see you a dope doctor. Shit that you trying, baby, I'm already done with it. You be the fifth, I be the motherfucking one with it. I got my nuts and my guts and my heart in it. Give me a crack and see if I don't put a part in it. From the start in it, we had hard in it to win it. 30 birdies, straight love like tennis. Rhyme minutes, finish all point shavers. Bump and grind until we make our shit major. Until then, you can hit me on the pager. 1-800 Big Ball Hip Hop Savior. Remember that, and we gon' keep it on the cool. Smoking act a fool and take rookies to school. Veteran MC, purple ribbon pedigree. Tennessee MC, Mr. B.I.G. and MJG. Hard from the fucking start, cause we don't give a fuck. You, and all the sneaky shit that your ass trying to do. You been peeping on my pimpin', looking for a downfall. And I ain't gon' even hang around y'all. I found y'all niggas to be false and fake assholes, but a thing, what they do, they gon' give it up. Put your hand in my shit, I breaks it off. Evolve, yeah. MJG, we don't give a fuck. Crossing the sands of Babylon, point shavers set traps and ambushes. Space age hoes use hypnotic touches and aromas. Extraterrestrial bitches putting tricks in comas. As I hover above the slums, 220 miles per hour, smoking orange juice, sniffing information, loving life. Bitch, I don't give a fuck.
Salute, 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 and welcome. Welcome back to the Black Ocean Now Swimming, getting the deep end with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have to talk about unity. Okay, yes, everybody wants to talk about unity, but unity requires integrity and reciprocation. Okay, now if you're over here in the foundational Black American Freedmen Black Grassroots and you've been paying attention to what's been going on, okay, for the past couple of years, there has been a foundational Black American Freedmen Renaissance, okay, and it's long overdue, all right? And that does not mean that we take issue with our own code, non-FBA brothers and sisters. To the contrary, your own code brother or sister, you're not of the lineage, we have no problems with you whatsoever. It's the tether class of Black immigrants that we actually take issue with, okay? So what we're going to be doing here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going over several things that's going to outline and make it clear, at least on this platform, what you must bring to the table if you require or want unity with foundational Black American freedmen. Gone are the days where we are people's muse and we just put everybody's needs ahead of our own. That's not going to happen anymore. Those days are long gone. And to be honest with you, a lot of people are having an issue with that because that's how they have come to see those of us who are foundational Black American freedmen. They've come to see us as people that just sacrifice for everybody else without thinking about our own needs. Okay, so that's going to be the tone of tonight's broadcast. Salute to the good brother, Latravia Lawson, for the cash out. People showing love early. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, shout out to all the new subscribers over here, okay? You're going to get nothing but straight talk on the channel. We don't celebrity worship. We don't spare people's feelings. We tell the truth like it is and let chips fall where they may afterwards. Go ahead and give me a black fist and a thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear, ladies and gentlemen. And with that said, while I'm waiting on the confirmation, I'm going to greet those of you who are my esteemed guests over here joining us tonight. So I'm seeing the brother Hot One in the building. Priscilla Taylor's over here. Dolores Lipscomb. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, sister. Kevin Blackwell is over here. Brother Bruce is over here. Jesse Paris is in here. Only Pamela's Way is in here. Tanisha Murdoch. I see Derek Parker. Sakina Collins. What's going on, sister? Stolen Ancestors 1526. What's going on, sister? I see Angelica Lena over here. And I think that's it. Oh, I see TJ in the building, okay? Saluting and welcome to everyone and anyone that'll be joining us in the night. So, family, we're going to get started with something tonight. Now, many of you probably haven't seen this. I'm going to show you something regarding Pan-Africanism, and let's just go ahead and get this clear out the way. Pan-Africanism on its face, okay? Pan-Africanism on its face. It's a novel concept. It's a noble concept even. But in order for that to work right, you can't just have a one-sided situation with that. You have to have people contributing to this on both sides, okay? Can't just have a situation where one side is foundational Black American freedmen anymore. We're not going to be used by people. We're not going to sit up here and be in a situation where we're putting in all of the work, okay? That's just not going to happen. And give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Give me 1 second. I got to adjust something really quickly. Hold on. All right, family. Hey, can y'all hear me okay? That was my fault right there. That was my bad. Can everybody hear me okay now? I had to make a quick adjustment. Give me a thumbs up and a black fist if you can hear me okay. Had to make a quick adjustment on something that was my bad, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Well, are you okay? So y'all able to hear me? Salute to my good brother, concerned Black citizen. My brother Lee Holmes in the building. Noah Randall, I see you. Okay, so picking up where I left off, like I said, the concept of Pan-Africanism is a noble idea, and it would be great if everybody pulled their own weight and put something on the table when it came to that. It can't just be foundational Black American freedmen towing all the weight, and it shouldn't be on just one party or in the global Black diaspora to pull the weight, okay? You get the most done when everybody's pulling their own weight. So now, all the Pan-Africanists tonight that might be joining us, and you might want to share this portion of the broadcast with a Pan-Africanist, Because when foundational Black American freedmen bring up the issues and the problem with Pan-Africanism, you know, we get told all kinds of things. We wrong, we shouldn't say that, or we're being divisive. And by the way, we're going to get into divisive here tonight because there's a good time to be divisive, okay? We're going to discuss exactly what that time to be divisive is, okay, and a little bit later here in the broadcast. But I'm going to let you all hear from a continental African about the problems that they have amongst their own people. And we're going to bring up something tonight because, you know, a lot of people don't like to go where we're about to go. You have to tell the truth if you want to form an alliance with anybody. You have to be clear on both sides about what your intentions are. And if there's things that went wrong in the past, we have to address those things and make those things right if we're going to move together as a people and actually have some unity. Now, anything outside of that, nobody's going to trust that, okay? Especially when it comes to some of the history between our people, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and play something here, and I'm going to let a good bit of this play without interruption because I want you to hear from a continental African about some of the issues and problems that their own people have because for a lot of the people that call themselves Pan-Africanists, and I find it hilarious, they say that without ever having been to an African country, how you going to call yourself a Pan-African if you've never been to an African nation? But I digress. Some of them might want to listen to this because you have to try to tell these people, and some of them mean well, that if you go to the continent, they don't practice Pan-Africanism over there on a national level. They don't do it on an individual level. Unfortunately, there's a lot of tribalism over there. Now, I'm not saying that you can't link up with individuals and do good business and do good things. That you can do. But if you're going over there with this like romanticized utopia in your head, you're going to be greatly disappointed on a collective level. Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to let this brother right here explain some things about the issues and problems amongst continental Africans. Let's get started.
Look at our traditional leaders and the slave trade. We blame the whites for the slave trade we went through. We blame the whites that they offended us. They took us as slaves. But let's wait for a minute. Who sold the black man to the whites? Who sold the black man to the whites? Our own traditional leaders. The enemy is not outside. The enemy is within. If we are asking the Europeans to pacify us and also to apologize to us, our traditional leaders must be the first to apologize on behalf of their ancestors for the evil they have done against their fellow blacks. Look at our attitude towards the environment and the destruction of our water bodies. All our river bodies have turned into dark brown. And you know what they said? In the next 20 years, if we don't stop this illegal mining, Ghana, we will import water to drink. Yet we don't care. And Chinese, they will come from their country into our forest, destroy our forest, destroy our land, and illegally mine and damage our waters. How can they come if the traditional leaders didn't give them permission to do that? And in one instance, while they were dead, our military went there to protect them. Our own military that is supposed to protect us rather protected the foreigners to destroy our water and destroy our forest. The enemy is not outside, the enemy is within. If you look at our own systems and structures in our country, we don't have a better system to improve the lives of people. Pastor, I was surprised when I read in China, they had a 10-year vision, and they said from 2011, their vision was that in 10 years from 2011, and 10 years from 2011 will be what year? This year, 2021, that they will raise over 20% of the people to become multi-millionaires. Now in 2021, they have 1.8 million Chinese who are multi-millionaires in China, and they are between the age of 40 to 50 years. Multi-millionaires. The government intentionally decided that they would make sure they will have 20% of the population multi-millionaires. They also agreed that they will make sure that they will lift up the poorest of the poor, and they lifted 100 million people from begging to live a better life. But in this country, in our country, we fight our own businessmen. Our government will fight our business people when they know that your business is thriving and they know that perhaps you are not sympathetic towards the running party or the ruling party. They will fight you, collapse your company, and make you poor. When in China, they want to make the people rich. In Africa, we want to make our own people poor. The enemy is not outside. The enemy is within. Look at our African leaders. How much they stole, the money they stole away. We are told in Gambia, Jamal Yaha, he stole 11 million US dollars from his own country, Gambia. Sani Abacha stole between 1 billion to 5 billion dollars out of Nigeria. Hosni Mubarak stole 17 million US dollars in 8 years. The enemy is not outside. The enemy to our own progress is within. Look at our presidents, the presidents who were fighting for our independence, what we did to them. In Togo, the man who fought for the independence of Togo, called Sylvanus Olympio, when Togo got independence, he decided that they would not use the French franc, the French CFA. They decided they will have their own Togo currency. And you know what? They used Iyadema to kill him and to get rid of him. When Olympians wanted to make Togo great, the enemy within, the Judas within, killed him. In Burkina Faso.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that Ghanaian pastor deliver that discourse to his people. And see, let me tell you something, man. A lot of people don't like when someone delivers a truthful message like that to their own people. But let me tell you something. One of the main ways that you are successful in any endeavor that you undertake in life is to make sure that you start out on honest footing. Let's simplify this, because I want any non-FBA people listening to this broadcast tonight to get the sense of what I'm saying. Okay, we're going to give you common sense over here. There's nobody hating you. We're talking about reality. For those that are always talking about we need to be unified and Pan-Africanism and all of this, okay? Everything that preacher right there was saying is true. He's not telling any lies. Those of us that have been to African nations, we've seen it firsthand. And even more so than that, the people that live there know that this is the truth, okay? Now, the only way that you get better with something, let's look at it on a simple analogy here. If you're on a team and you're playing sports, okay, and your goal is to win a championship, when you lose, you have to go back in the locker room and study game footage, study what went right, what went wrong, and make improvements on what you really see. You don't go off of fantasy and ignoring it and passing the blame on somebody else. No, everybody in that locker room has to say, okay, this is where I messed up. This is where I need to improve. Okay, and actually get to work on that. And then when you come back out, now you got yourself together from a realistic point of view. Unfortunately, with Pan-Africanism and a lot of things that go on regarding that conversation, people aren't doing what I just stated there. Okay, because see, let's thread a couple of needles here before we move on. When it comes to the Pan-African conversation, all right, you have to look at a couple of things. One, those puppet leaders, okay, many appointed by the West, they do exactly what that brother was saying. And see, I want you all over here, I want you all to verify what I'm saying. I tell y'all, don't just listen to me. Verify it. I'm going to give you, yet again, y'all should be familiar with this site by now. And I keep putting this in here periodically on different broadcasts because I want my people to understand what the numbers are and what all the variables and factors are regarding these types of situations. That website I put in there, y'all should know it by now, foreignassistance.gov. That's where it shows where all the tax dollars over here in the United States are going in real time. And you look at, particularly when you go to that website, you look at how much money is going to these African nations. Now, here's the truth about this. And I want all you Pan-Africanists over here that are foundational Black American freemen to pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, especially if you've never been to an African nation. All that foreign aid money that you will see on that website in there, that goes to their puppet leaders. Very little of it makes it to the people or to help the people in that nation. They put it in their own pockets. They look out for themselves and their own particular tribe or clan, okay? That's just the truth. This is why a lot of continent looks the way it does today, all right? Let's thread some further needles. Unfortunately, there are over 19 different nations that are today willingly a part of the British Commonwealth. Now, what's the problem with that? Well, if you got your independence on paper and you truly aim to be an independent people, you don't willingly join any alliance or allegiance to the crown of your former colonizers. That is insanity. That shows that you still have somewhat of a Stockholm syndrome like attachment to your former colonizers. Hence why we see a lot of behavior from the tether class today when they come over here. Okay, see, we just got to tell the truth over here tonight. All right, and again, we're making distinctions. When I say tether class, talking about that group of individuals that can't wait to come over here and kiss white ass and start telling us what we don't need and what we shouldn't have as foundational Black American freedmen, when the opportunity for them to come here was granted to them by our people, our ancestors that sacrificed for them to come over here, and they're eating off our tax dollars when they get over here, for those of us that are here in present day. Okay, we got to tell the truth about that. The other issue and problem that you heard the preacher there talking about. Remember, I told y'all years ago about the copy to China plan. Now, this is where white supremacy comes in, because you can't let white supremacy off the hook, but he's telling the truth. There's no way for those of our ancestors here, for the small percentage it was, that were sold to the transatlantic slave trade, they had to have help. They weren't just running in there like the fable of goes, where people talking about, oh, they stole somebody and they just hijacked them. No, you had to have help. And unfortunately, some of the traders over there, they sold their own people. All right, that's what happened. Even if they went to war with an opposing tribe, they would take those people and sell them, you know what I'm saying, to slave traders. And their version of slavery, okay, before the white man came along, they would capture that person for 7 years. And after that, you could go back to your tribe or marry into the tribe that you were captured. Okay. Now, when the British came, all right, because that was the third and most brutal leg of the slave trade. If you know the chronology of it, the Arabs started it, Portuguese picked it up, the British perfected it. Okay. British came and they sold, you know what I'm saying, those captors, that small percentage that was brought here, some of them are our ancestors. Okay. As we all know, some of our people are already here too. The greater majority of the people that were captured in the transatlantic slave trade went down to like Brazil, South America, etc., like that. Okay. But now, when you look at that treacherous spirit that, you know, their ancestors had right there, that you see that passed down with tether class. Just like we say, cooning is passed down, okay, through bloodlines and generations. It's the same thing with that treacherous tether class spirit. All right, it's the same thing. It's no different. So now, the copy to China plan. This is where white supremacy outsmarted itself. All right, you know, because they didn't want to leave manufacturing jobs over here in industry over here to keep Black folks from getting those decent paying jobs, and they're always trying to cut corners. They thought they were going to take advantage of the Chinese and ship all the manufacturing over to China. Okay. And, you know, get over on them. But see, the Chinese are many things, but they are not stupid. The CCP, particularly the Chinese government, is not stupid. They said, okay, come on over here, white man. You can come over here and, you know, you think you're going to exploit our people for cheap labor. But what they gave the instructions to the Chinese CEOs, they said, listen, we're going to mandate that these Chinese companies partner with, or these American companies partner with Chinese companies. And you CEOs make sure that you get all the blueprints from the American company, and then you start making knockoffs of whatever their product is, and we're going to compete against them on the global market. Hey, if they produce an iPhone, we're going to make a sly phone and undercut them and sell it for half the price so that we can rapidly produce profits. Fast forward to the day, hey, I can't knock it. The Chinese were hustlers, man. They made sure they got their weight up to the point now that they're number 2 on the world stage economically. And they was like, okay, now that we got our weight up, they didn't stop there. This is where the continent of Africa factors in. Unless you're someone that's under a rock or you're not, you know, geopolitically educated, you will understand that the continent of Africa is a vital component to every other country and nation on the planet. Why? The greater majority of uranium reserves and yellow cake and other things that you need to create those weapons is found on the continent of Africa. Okay. All your cobalt, all your mineral resources, okay, that you can name to make these semiconductors and everything, The greater majority of that is on the continent, platinum, oil, gold. I could be here naming all night, not to mention the most fertile farmland on the planet is there. So now the Chinese, they said, okay, you need an African Union building, we'll build you one. But there's no such thing as a free lunch, because if you're on my Patreon, you already know I've broken this down many times, and all the information for you to verify what I'm saying is over there. When they built the African Union building, they also made sure to give their engineers and programmers instructions to hack and bug the systems, and they downloaded information for several years on all African nations over there and sent that back to the CCP. Now, why did they do this? Understand something. When the Chinese get ready to make a move, you study their history throughout, the centuries of their warfare, they were pretty successful. Some of the most brilliant military strategists are from the nation of China, okay? Now, what they were doing when they siphoned all that information off from the African Union, they were using it to prepare to send their people down there and start saying, okay, what's the best way for us to get our foot in the door so that we can take advantage of these people and get resources so that we can pretty much keep the United States at bay, all right? Because as you know, before the copy to China plan, I've spoken about that many times, China was referred to as a third world nation. You can't do that today. If you ever go there and visit them, let me tell you something. They have some of the most cutting edge technology you can imagine. I'm going to tell you right now, that electric car brand that they have over there in China was ever to hit the U.S. market, Elon Musk would be out of business tomorrow. I kid you not, okay? So now, what the Chinese did, they studied and laid the groundwork to come down there, and they introduced to the corrupt African leaders who don't know business, I just got to call it what it is, to the ones that are corrupt, they said, okay, we're going to get you with the debt diplomacy strategy. Now, what is that? You offer them a loan that's more than they can pay back. And if they default on the loan for collateral, you say, okay, listen, you got to put up your seaport, your airport, your power company, maybe one of these mines. And if you default on the loan, no problem. We'll just collect this. And now this is under the ownership of the Chinese. And many of these nations have defaulted on those loans. I mean, the saddest case that I can think of would be Zambia, because damn it, those copper mines are damn near all owned by the Chinese. Now, this is what's sad about that. If you live in a country or a nation where you're resource rich, that's supposed to be the next generation's birthright. Everybody in that nation is supposed to be benefiting off those resources. They're supposed to be getting a kickback or percentage of whatever you sell for market value. But unfortunately, a lot of African nations will sell their resources for under market value because they don't recognize the value of what they have, and they don't understand how to do business on the world stage. They're corrupt leaders, okay? I'm placing the blame of the corrupt leaders, okay? Now, I want y'all to follow me where I'm going, because all of this matters. When the Chinese come in, and now this is several years have passed since everything that I told you about, now they have a foothold on many African countries to the point where they're soft colonizing. Now, what do I mean by that? All across the continent, hey, but they've cut those debt diplomacy deals. They've told them, hey, look, not only are you going to, let us get control of these mines if you default, go ahead and set up some Chinese language schools here. Why? Oh, no problem. Because that means they're going to start flooding your people there. See, when your official language is whatever it is in your country, then you have another country imposing their language upon you, they're setting you up to take over. So now, if you know anything about the situation with most African nations over there, the Chinese are flooding their people down there, okay? Flooding their people down there to the point that they're setting up businesses in certain African countries, Kenya, looking at you, and they're setting up shop, and they're doing what the Indians are doing, saying, hey, yeah, we set this business up in your country, but you can't even come in here. Back to business, we're not going to hire you. And instead of the government officials saying, nah, we're going to shut that down, we're not going to let you get away with that, nah, they look the other way as long as they kick them a little bit of bread. Now, you talk about treachery to the young people of those nations. They just selling their birthright right out from under them. Absolutely disgusting. But we have to call the facts what they are. For the people that call themselves Pan-Africanists, some of you probably don't know this, but you can verify everything that I'm telling you. Okay? So now, you have that situation going the way it is. All right. They selling out left and right because selling out is not a harmless crime, and it jeopardizes the present and the future of your people. The Chinese are like, okay, now that we've gotten control of certain things here, hey, we're going to start bringing our little military down here under the guise of training you. And next thing you know, in peacetime, you never do this. You don't allow an opposing force to set up military bases in your country during peacetime. You don't do that. If they're going to bring their forces, it should be to an established base that's under your control. Okay, if you're going to do that, but you don't let them build their own. It's another mistake they've made on the continent. Okay, so I mean, when you see where the way China is positioning itself, it's saying, okay, we're gonna focus mostly on the nations in Africa where you get a lot of resources to, get control of the lion's share of the tech market and the resources that are needed to build these nuclear weapons, etc. All right, that's what's kind of going on now. Shout out to Ibrahim Traore. He's trying to change things, even though he's partnered with the Russians. Their strategy is slightly different. They don't use depth diplomacy per se, but what they do, the Russians come in and say, hey, look, check this out. Whatever we do for you, whatever we build for you, you got to give us some of these resources at under market value. That's the plan that the Russians are doing. They're not trying to go the route of the Chinese yet. Keyword yet. Okay? So that's a bit of background of what's going on with that. And see, for you in the tether class, no matter what African nation you come from, these are the things you need to be worried about before you start trying to tell us to be unified with you. There's an old saying, it starts at home, okay? Charity starts at home. Organization starts at home as well. If you don't have your house organized, you can't come over here and play Monday morning quarterback and be trying to get in the driver's seat of our movements, etc. And unfortunately, we see some of the tether class that immigrate over here. We see the problem with the Congressional Black Caucus. We see the problem with some of these different positions, mayors, governors, etc. When we try to advocate for reparations or anti-Black hate crime bill, these people are in positions of power to undermine us, okay? These are the ones we call the tether class. Even more dangerous, the ones that are in positions in the medical field. We talked about that many times. I'm not the only one that has raised that concern, all right? That's a life or death issue. Even on a lesser degree, but just as serious, if you have elderly people that need to be cared for by some of these people and they have an anti-Black American hatred. So see, these are some of the most valid things we need to raise up here when people get to talking about unity. If you want to be unified with us, we need to see them before we say something. You need to be checking your own people and trying to, rectify these things. And see, I have to mention this. You had a lot of people that took issue with us saying, hey, we're going to, for the people that chose to participate, going to boycott some of these tether class businesses. You should never have an issue with your own people saying we're trying to course correct, okay? Because, see, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Salute to the good brother, Mr. Sam. I see you, my good brother. So the definition of the insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. And a lot of people, which were kind of slow, the short bus folks, they took that to mean that, okay, people were only going to boycott African businesses. I'm like, no, where did anybody say that? Nobody said that. See, you have some people, they're quick to speak, but they're slow to think. Okay, and that's a bad trait to have, all right? So, that's a little bit of discourse on what's going on regarding people on the continent, and you heard that from one of their own. But we're not done yet. We have to analyze some more things here because, see, we're going to cover all the bases here tonight. Oh, we ain't going to just talk about the continental African tether class. No, we got to analyze some other things too, family. So we're going to play this right here, and I'm going to be stopping this where need be to address certain things with it.
Now I can empathize and sympathize with the Black community. I've never been able to do that before because I would hear them say things like, oh, we walk down the street and we get profiled and, cops will just suddenly stop and frisk or whatever just because of the color of their skin. And I always thought like, it's a little bit of a stretch. It feels like a little bit of a stretch. That person must be doing something, right? And obviously I've never experienced that before. I've never felt that way before and stuff. And so I always thought like, ignorantly, by the way, on my part, thinking like, I think you guys are, because I'm brown, I've never felt that and stuff like that, I'm also a minority. But now, for us, it wasn't the cops. Cops aren't just randomly go and checking in the past. But
let me stop Fat Boy right here, okay? Let me stop, Chubby Hector right here. I got to get him. Okay. Now, some of you probably saw this floating around, but I'm including it in tonight's discourse for a reason. Okay. The first reason, what I try to do with my platform is educate and encourage my people to think, okay, and make wise decisions and not be played for a fool by someone. I think everybody over here in my audience, male, female alike, FBA, non-FBA, okay? We have sense enough to understand that if somebody only comes to you when they need help or when they're in trouble, you can't trust them. Because, see, he said he's a minority too, but see, they keep thinking that most of us don't understand that even if they're his complexion, okay, and they're a part of the Latino community, they classify themselves as white on the census and on all their identification, their paperwork. So that brown term, I don't know who the brown people are when most of them classified as white over here. The greater majority of them are. There's very few that say, nope, I'm Mexican, I'm whatever I am, Honduran, Venezuelan, whatever. Nope. They put down white, Hispanic. All right? They damn sure do. Sometimes they put straight white. Same thing for some of the Asians. Okay, we ain't leaving them out. But see, the problem with that, they think we don't know that, where they play this little 3-card money and hopscotch in and out of these different categories. No, we on to you. We see that. And his sentiment, you heard him say, well, he's always thought that, oh, the person that the race soldiers are harassing, they just must have been doing something. Well, I would ask him, like, why would you think that, though? Where did you get this mentality? See, a lot of them are afraid now because, hey, the Iceman cometh. Oh, the Iceman cometh. Oh, do y'all feel that? Ooh, brr, it's kind of chilly. Ooh, it's cold. Oh, do y'all feel the frost? Oh, boy, talk about winter in the summertime. I feel it, y'all. Hey, man, listen. The only thing I can tell them is, hey, get you a good coat, some good gloves, put you a good hat on your head, because we're not coming to save you from ice. That's not going to happen. Okay? I wonder how many people this little rotund bastard right here has treated with anti-black sentiments, okay? Because if you thought that, he would be one of the main people. If we trying to get justice for somebody that was brutalized by these race soldiers or whatever, he would be the main people talking about, you need to stop committing crimes, black on black crime. What about Chicago? Oh, no, playboy. Nope. Hold your own tacos, player. No. Best I can do is toss you some seasoning and, hey, good luck. Because, I mean, we are not coming out there to put the capes on for you. You may as well give it up. You don't come running to people when you're in a time of crisis talking about unity. Just like I say with both parties, political parties, with policies, before we give them any votes, we need to see proof of concept policy. In this case, we need to see proof of concept behavior change, all right? I don't want to hear you talking about, oh, you understand now, oh, you've seen the light. No. I need to see some change behavior. And in his case, well, depending on if his paperwork is right, he might not have time to exhibit that change behavior. He might be, he might be ducking and dodging and time might be up. I mean, hey, I just got to call it what it is. So, I'm going to let Hector continue here, and I'm going to continue to raise issue with some of the things that he was saying here because, see, we are in a time, I'm just going to say it loud and clear, where our people, foundational Black American freedmen, we're not going to be played for suckers anymore. That's not going to happen, okay? We are going to put ourselves first. It's long overdue. We are going to focus on making sure that anybody we deal with treats us with the same respect that we give people. Or if you don't, that's fine. We don't have to do any kind of business. We don't have to be, supporting anybody else except for us. We cool. We can take all that energy that's expended on you and our economic capital and turn that inward towards ourselves. And that's really what we need to be doing anyway. Okay? So I'm going to let him continue with his diatribe here because, hey, y'all, are y'all buying it? Do you think little old rotund Hector here has actually seen the light? We're going to see here because I'm going to keep critiquing this the further he gets along. Let's get back to it.
Now it's our turn, right? Now we feel it. Now we feel like, crap, can I just go down the street? Do I need my paper? It's like, why are you stopping me? I'm a U.S. citizen. We're not doing anything wrong. And now we're being persecuted. And so now I'm thinking like, crap, this is what the Black community meant, and I kind of feel bad. Well, I don't kind of I feel bad because I never really could understand where they were coming from or
I bet you do now, don't you, Playboy? Oh, I bet you understand now. Oh, I bet you do. Welcome to what it's like to be black in America. And see, look, let me tell y'all the real problem that they have with this. Because, see, really, I despise this kind of cowardly weasel crap. I want you to stand on some conviction and stand on business. If you're going to be anti-black, hey, you need to continue to be anti-black now that the Iceman is lurking around trying to scoop you up. Okay? Stand on business, man. Don't start backpedaling. No, you got to ride it out. Because, see, you know, what he's doing now, they understand that the greater majority of foundational black American freedmen with sense, we not coming out there in the middle of their protests. Nope. That way, the race soldiers and the ICE agents, hey, it's open season on you, baby. Oh, it's open season on you. It ain't no black people out there to catch the tear gas rounds and whatever else they choose to use on you. And so far, I ain't even seen them brutalizing none of them yet, unless they cut the fool. You know what I'm saying? If it's black folks with signs, oh boy, they bring out all types of artillery for our people. We've seen that many times. So now, hey, you getting a dose of what it's like to be black in America. And they crying for no reason because, see, think about it, family. Here's the schizophrenia on their part. On the one hand, you'll say you proud of where you from. And then on the other hand, if you have to go back there, you terrified and now you kicking and screaming and you fighting here not to go back where you from, but you waving the flag of where you from. These people don't know whether they coming or going. And in his community in particular, they have an identity crisis. 1 minute they want to be white. 1 minute they talking about they brown. The next minute they talking about they Taino Indian. Then someone think because they speak Spanish, they think they are Spanish. They just all over the place. Unfortunately for them, foundational black American freedmen don't have an identity crisis. We know who we are. We know who we are, okay? Your issues and your problems, all this, we in this together. No, we not. No, baby. You can't come over here. Look, if you don't pay your insurance premiums, man, hey, you don't get coverage. That's what that is. You haven't paid into any alliance premiums with us. We don't see your politicians advocating for our people. All that black and brown talk. No, okay. If it's black and brown, why we don't never hear the brown people, the so-called brown people, advocating for black people? We don't see that. We don't see that at all. So now, you know, they just afraid now because, hey, they cracking down on them. And see, this was the sad thing about some of them. And I'll say sad almost facetiously. Family, I'm going to ask a question real quick before I let this continue. How many of y'all knew that before ICE started cracking down, now that the orange tornado is on there giving everybody the blues that, you know, that's not really from here, that came here illegally, they really thought that we were immigrants. I did not know, family, that they actually thought we were immigrants. I learned that, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, when all of this started, they're like, oh, you're next. I'm like, what? Like, no, baby. No, Giblet. No, we are not next. We cannot be next, okay? That's not going to happen. And I've heard a lot of people that try to, you know, go the contrarian route. Well, if they got a 2/3 majority, listen, man, I done already broke down why they not going to do that. No. And no, trust me, if the white supremacists really wanted to get rid of us, they would have came together and unified on that a long time ago. Nah, they know how beneficial we are to this country. And notice I'm not saying that I think the white supremacists love us. No. A couple of reasons. They know the tax revenue that they get off of us. Why do you think they approved the integration in the first place? They're like, nah, let these niggas come on over here and spend their money with us so they can close their business and integrate their economy into ours. Okay? Then I've already talked about the security risk if they was to reach some 2/3 majority and just revoke our citizenship and we went to another nation, we would take all this nation's secrets with us. We know the inner workings of that. Like I said, you talking about an opportunity for foundational black American freedmen to go mercenary. Do you know how much money China and Russia would pay for that? Oh, no. See, I know that's just a couple of reasons right there alone why you're not going to see that. All right. Then here's the third thing. And this is something that hopefully more of our people will start to change. The economic revenue, if they deported all, let's just say for reference sake, conservatively, say 43 plus million of us were deported to some other nation. Do you know what economic capital and revenue they would lose out on? Because whether people like it or not, we are the cultural epicenter of the black world right here. These folks make the most money off of our culture, unfortunately, because we don't own, operate, and control, or some of us sell the intellectual property that we come up with. So you really think they want to lose that? I just gave y'all 3 quick things about why there ain't going to be no 2/3 majority coming together to strip us of our rights and deport us somewhere. Not to mention the 4th reason, that would make them the most hypocritical they ever been on the world stage. You know, people would condemn them. They would never, because they're already losing standing on the world stage as it is, they would never be able to be wagging their finger at some false moral high ground ever again. They would never be able to do that. Salute to my first sergeant, some chick named Star. Cool Keezy, I see you in here, brother. But man, they would never be able to wag their fingers at our people again if they did that asinine thing right there, okay? So, you know, for the people that try to be contrarian using that right there, that's just not going to happen. But we're going to let, Fat Boy Hector, or should I call him Horchata Hector, continue with his rambling here, because I got bad news for you, SA. We not going, bro. If you want some unity, I suggest that you get with your people and figure out how you're going to duck these ICE vans, because I'm going to tell you right now, like my brother, Mr. Sam, hey, some of us got ICE on speed dial. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm one of the people, especially you anti-black to my folks. Hey, man, I'm taking it further than that. I'm dropping dimes, baby. I'm telling you. I can't reveal everything, but I'm going to tell you right now, I am dropping hot dimes and my operations have been successful. So I just want you to know, you don't have a friend in the Sharks. I'm making sure they find you, okay? Because I know where you're at. Most of y'all is in these major cities, and I'm making sure that they know where to look when you try to leave these major cities. Oh, no. I have no remorse for them. Let's let it continue.
Where you guys were coming from, but I can assure you that now that it's here with us too, it's like crap. I honestly, legitimately didn't think it was real. But it's real as hell, and it's obviously minority groups that are targeted, and
oh yes, Horchata Hector is very real. And I will be kind enough to give you a little bit of advice with your little rotund self. You've been eating good over here in America. I suggest you get busy losing some of that weight in case you need to move fast, or he could exercise his alternate mode and, curl up like a little rotund ball and roll away from ICE. I mean, you better do something, because they coming, buddy. Okay, if your paperwork ain't in order, they coming to get you, all right? And then it's going to be brothers like myself that make sure he's over there, because that's what you do to black people. For anybody like, man, why you go co-sign calling ICE? Let me tell you something, man. How many times you think he done snitched on black people on whatever job he was on? Lamar came in 10 minutes late. Oh, yeah, we can't have that around here, trying to get you fired so they can get more of their people in there. So, no, player. I got to help them folks out. I'm doing my patriotic civic duty to make sure that if your ass is illegal, that you get on up out of here. So I suggest that, he hit a couple of Stairmaster workout videos or whatever you need to do, because they coming, buddy. And see, I'm going to let something else play right after he speak here to remind everybody why many of us have that sentiment. And more of us are having it. And you got some people, unfortunately, of our lineage, they want to play we got to forgive them. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Well, goddamn it, 2 rights make a left. And that's exactly where we going. Let's let it continue.
Persecuted pretty much. And it's right now with us is because we're brown. You guys have had your turn when, cops were just in bigger cities, urban areas, stopping disproportionately, the black community and stuff. And I just want to say, like, I guess now I understand. I think moving forward, there's going to be a little bit more unity, because we now can see where you guys are coming from, or at least.
Wait a minute, homeboy. No, Giblet, no, how dare you? Oh boy, y'all know the phrase and the saying, what happens when people make assumptions? You make an ass out of you and me. You should not assume. What makes you think that because now you've seen all this light, that now it's going to be some unity with who? I know you ain't talking about my people, Hector. No. See, I would have some questions for him. I like, hey, player, when last time you helped advocate for reparations, huh? For my people? Did you ever say that, you think we should get an anti-black hate crime bill? When the last time you talked to your Hispanic politicians about trying to help us out with the things that we need in our community? When the last time you talked to your people as a collective and said some of the resources that you getting that we can't get, all these DACA programs and all this other little hidden stuff that y'all get to get business loans and all that? When the last time you said, hey, man, we need to cut our black brothers in on some of this stuff, man. This ain't right. I know you hadn't done none of that, Playboy. So no, look at him, boy. You can see the fear in them little chubby eyes, man. No, I ain't trying to hear it. And most of my people ain't trying to hear it either. Because see, like I said, something's coming up that's going to remind him of why most of us feel that way. Because we got to hold them all to the same standard. Don't let these people fool you, man. You seen that the boy, they thought they was boy. But before the orange tornado got in there, man, hey, man, you remember they had their chest out talking cash shit to black folks. Oh, boy, they just thought, man, they was living high on the hall. You get to pretend to be white over here. They never thought this day was coming. Well, it's here, Giblet. It's here.
I can, you know. And so, yeah, guys, I just want to say sorry for being ignorant before, but I hope this unites all communities, not just minorities, and call out things for what they are, regardless of the race.
No more money for you. You working. No more money for you. Bye-bye.
Go back across the
No more money for you. It's lazy. You lazy.
Yeah, you know I had to play his kinfolk right there. No more money for you. Well, looks like no more citizenship for you. Yeah, they're talking about somebody lazy. Motherfucker got an accent fresh off the boat talking to my people like that. No, player, see, you have, look, let me tell y'all something, man. I'm going to tell you where I'm at with it dealing with them, okay? You have to rub their nose in their anti-blackness just like you do a puppy that piss on your floor if you got dogs in your house. Now, I don't have any in my house, but you got to train them. You be like, you can't forget about this. Put your nose in there. You need to get a good whiff of this. You know what I'm saying? Because, see, they want to try to act like none of this ever happened. Kind of like, you know, the tether class that say, hey, they just don't remember when they were never saying that they was black. Isn't it funny how they be catching amnesia all of a sudden? But for years and years upon years, hey, you be like, hey, man, we all black. We in this together. Oh, no. I ain't no black papi. I Dominican. I'm not black. I'm Nigerian. I mean, come on now. They try to act like we don't remember that. We do. Unfortunately for you, the FBA version of Pepperidge Farm remembers, baby. We haven't forgotten. Oh, we haven't forgotten, ladies and gentlemen. Look, y'all laughing. I'm telling you. We remember. I'm not going to forget. Salute to the good brother K. Wright in the building, man. See, because we got to remind these people, man. And see, look, I'm not trying to be cruel, but see, you've earned this. And see, let me address some of the people that I've seen making comments on different platforms talking about where everybody don't feel that way. Unfortunately, sometimes the good got to suffer with the bad, and I'm going to tell you why. Because family, the greater majority of my people in here that are foundational Black American freedmen, you know that most of these other groups, especially the ones that classified as white, they wait until they get in trouble and now the orange man is cracking down on them. They had never changed their tune. Even the ones that aren't like that, they not the loudest voices in the room when it comes to checking their people on their anti-Black American behavior. So if your business have to get boycotted, maybe that'll light a fire in your ass to get on your people before we have to. See, sometimes the best weapon and warfare strategy that you have is just sit back and be patient sometimes, okay? Sometimes this is the time for us to focus on ourselves, focus on empowering our own communities, our own people, our own families, and make sure that we're good. Let them have at it, man. You know what I'm saying? See, some of our people, unfortunately, you have a small percentage. They're going to have to learn the hard way. They're going to jump up. We can't let them do this. Let them go ahead out there and get popped in the head with a rubber bullet or get some tear gas in the face because you can't save the stupid, okay? At this point, you have to ask yourself, when have these people as a collective, not individuals, when have they as a collective advocated for anything that's in support of Black folks? We have not seen large numbers of them saying, hey, man, why y'all doing to Black people like that? That's not right. These are our Black brothers, and we've been saying Black and brown. We going to stand with them. Nope. If you going to get to them, we going to stand right there with them. We in this together. Huh? We don't see that. We just don't. So for me, I know, hey, man, look, you on your own. That's all we doing is saying you on your own. Time for you to pull your own weight. Hey, you know, it is what it is. because they say they work harder. They say they're smarter. They should be good. They really should be good, family. So, I don't see what all the fuss is. I mean, I'm confused. You spent decades. You're lazy. Like little buddy, fresh off the boat, playing whatever he did to sneak over here on the CBP1 app. By the way, that's now a deportation app, thanks to the Orange Tornado. Okay. Hey, he said you got the option to self-deport. So I think you might better take that option if you're still over here, because they coming. Okay. But see, if you work harder and you smarter and all of this, hey, man, you got it, man. I'm rooting for you. I know you're going to do it, okay? You're going to figure it out. I have full confidence in that they're going to be able to work out their problems. And they just probably going to have to work them out in their home country where they come from, okay? That's just what it is, all right? So we got further things to analyze over here regarding, tonight's conversation, because like I said, we're going to give a very thorough education on this particular subject matter here tonight. Let's get into it further.
Hey, how y'all doing today? Today I woke up and I seen a bunch of stuff on TikTok about Africans, diaspora, and foundational Black Americans and boycotts and whatnot. And as a first generation African, I kind of wanted to give my 2 cents on it. Africans that are going and all this reparations that they're talking about they want to get for Black Americans and whatnot, they don't got no business doing that. And the Black Americans are 100% right to be upset, right? Because ain't no way someone comes from another country to dunk on you, talk smack, say that you don't know anything, call you stupid, call you worthless, call you murderers and gangbangers and thieves, all, and then say they want reparations for the suffering that you went through. Africans do have a narcissism problem, severely. I grew up with 2 African parents. One of them was extremely racist. The other one, not so much, but my mom's just I don't know.
Salute to the good brother Charles Hamilton for the cash out. Thank you very much, my good man. Okay, but see, I want to interject right here briefly. Now, I applaud this young man right here because, I understand it takes courage to be honest about these things, particularly in the way that he's doing it, addressing his mother and his father. Now, of course, we have to correct him on the term that he said racist because, unfortunately, a lot of continental Africans and some Caribbean people that actually do think that melanated people have the power to be racist. We explain it over and over that racism is not just name calling or you not liking somebody. That's you having the power to negatively affect their lives based on the color of their skin and deprive them of resources. Prejudice plus power. Now, the proper term would be bigoted, okay? Anti-Black American bigoted. That's what his parents were, not racist, okay? So hopefully if you're a non-FBA person over here that you will have the understanding on that. We've broken that down many times over the years on this platform for the new people, okay? But I respect this young man for being honest because, again, theme of tonight's broadcast, if you say you want unity, we have to start with a foundation of honesty. Look, even if we're at fault with things, the way to fix things is to say, hey, you know what? Let me come to the table. Look, my bad. This is what I did. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking to exhibit change behavior. Let's see what we can go forward and do together. That's the proper mindset to have. And, I'm not sure if this young man had those sentiments. It seems like he doesn't. But, this is what we need to see more of. If you want people to be unified, look, we wouldn't have a problem with this brother or sister, any brother or sister that has this type of mentality that's willing to call that nonsense out of the tether class amongst their people. Man, I ain't got no problem with you, man, at all. You know what I'm saying? I would consider you a brother or sister if you have that type of mindset. But see, it's too few of them speaking out like this because, see, think about it, right? A lot of people that had a problem with our people saying that we were going to boycott some of these businesses, let me posit to you this. If the greater majority of the melanated immigrant class were speaking like this brother was and checking their own people, I'm going to tell you right now, I know my people. They wouldn't have been a boycott because they'll be like, hey, man, okay, we see enough of them are not on the BS. Unfortunately, too many of them are. Not all, but too many. Let's let the brother continue.
Dad used to see black kids and call them troublemakers. Every time he seen one, he had a problem with seeing black people. And it was beyond me. He would see kids that I knew was good kids. I knew that they were, honors kids. And one night he would say they're troublemakers. Oh, they're just troublemakers. Because he's seen they're just black. They're black kids riding bikes. They got to be doing something bad. That was, shit, when I got 13, because I didn't want to run track and play soccer like other African kids, and I wanted to play basketball and football with the other kids around my age, other kids that look like me. When I wasn't even allowed to have friends, he moved us the fuck away from black people.
Salute to the good brother Aretta Susse King for the cash out. Brother Dad Miller TV. Thank you to my good man. Let's talk about this right here, right? Now, again, this is where I applaud this young man because he's being completely honest about what his reality is and what he grew up seeing. Now, family, y'all know, and I know that I have brothers and sisters in here from damn near every part of this country, okay? Fact of business, real quick. I want to do something before I make this point. For the brothers and sisters that are joining over here, I want you to type in tonight what part of the country you from. Because, see, people need to see this over here. Okay, for Foundational Black American Freedmen and FBA people alike, I want you to type in the chat what state or what city you from. Okay, because I'm finna prove a point right here with what I'm about to say. And I'm going to wait until a good many of you answer this because, see, this is going to prove something. I have a very important question to ask because, you know, I already know what it is for me, but I want to get the opinion of my audience. Okay, I'm seeing Sister Winband Grass says she's from Philly, in California, Denver, Colorado. My brother Cool Keezy, shout out to you. Okay, my sister Mrs. L, she's New Haven, Connecticut. Project Leroy, Chi-Town, what's going on? San Diego. My brother Bruce in New York. Phil from Florida. My brother, my battle buddy, coming is Wingfield, Northeast Texas. Okay, Long Island, New York, South Florida, Miami, Savannah, Georgia. Okay, Cordelia, all my people in here. Okay, hey, shout out to Georgia, man. And I got Portland, Oregon in here. Oh, man, blessings and prayers to my sister. She over there in Portland. Oh, Lord, blessings and prayers to you. We all know the history of that state. Anchorage, Alaska, South Carolina, North Carolina. Okay, South Kakalak and North Kakalak in the building. So, you know, I asked y'all to do that for a reason. Now, here's the statement I want to make. For most of you that name that, because we know that Foundational Black American Freedmen culture is slightly different from region to region. With the dialects that we speak, some of us in the South speak with a slower cadence, all right? Some people up north speak with a more fast-pitched cadence. West Coast brothers, Midwest brothers and sisters speak with a more laid-back cadence to a certain degree. There's different nuances in between many different aspects of our culture, even though we're the same lineage. Now, the question that I'm going to ask, how many Foundational Black American Freedmen in here remember having parents that told you, hey, them Jamaicans or them Haitians or them Africans, they troublemaker. You don't have nothing to do with them. Fact of business, if I see too many of them around us, we gonna move you. Well, how many of y'all had that experience? Because, see, I'm gonna speak for myself. I know my parents didn't do that. Let me tell you something, man. The family that I come from, we were taught to show respect to everybody. Now, we were cautioned about being around them folks like that because down here in the South, that is a primary part of your education growing up down here. We've definitely taught to be cautious around them folks. But as far as other black folks, man, ain't nobody in my family, elders alike, ever taught us to look down on them or we didn't even remember them speaking disparagingly of them. In fact, the business, let's go here because y'all know that they love to keep bringing up this one archaic term. Oh, well, we was called African booty scratchers. First of all, I'm going to say it yet again. Little ignorant black kids, you know what I'm saying, that we were back then. We even called each other that were Foundational Black American Freedmen. But see, if you come from a family like mine, I can remember the first time that me and my cousin was using that. My mother, their mothers, hey, we all got checked on that. Grandparents, they're like, nope, you don't talk like that about other black people. Nope. They checked us heavy on that. They treated that like a curse word. We couldn't say that around them. We got checked on it. Okay? And that was how it was in the community with most of us. Most parents, Foundational Black American Freedmen parents, never taught their children to look down on or stay away from other black people, continental Africans, Caribbeans, Haitians. Now, what a lot of them do, they mistake us roasting being kids cracking jokes for actual hatred. Unless somebody went and put their hands on you and beat you up for no reason just because you was African or Haitian or Jamaican, you can't say nobody hated you. Now, a lot of times when I hear them relate and say, oh, well, yeah, y'all black people did that, you have to say, okay, are you sure that was one of us? Because we know that sometimes Caribbeans, have beef with each other. Sometimes they have beef with the Africans and they get into fights. But for the most part, we don't do that just because you from somewhere else. No, we look at you. We can't tell what you are unless you tell us, or unless it's obvious you speak with an accent. And for the most part, we're like, okay, that's cool, brother, sister, where you from? That's it. We treated you like one of us, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it was some jokes crack, it was in love, and we wouldn't just stay on you like that. You know what I'm saying? In fact, that's a part of how we accept you. That's just a part of our culture. All right. But some of them will tell that like, oh, they called me this, they called me that. I'm like, nah, if you still carrying that trauma around in your adult years, man, you need to get yourself some help. But see, I'm gonna let this brother continue talking here because, like I said, man, it takes courage to actually tell the truth about that. And see, this is what I wanna say, even to some of the tether class that might be listening, okay? All right, because we got on code none LBA brothers and sisters over here, but to those that are some of the tether class, if you're listening to this is where you get your respect. Quit carrying on with the lies, quit, gaslighting people about what the truth is, and just come on out and put that on the table because, see, like it or not, our people are some of the most forgiving people in this country. You know what? Not that. Let me go ahead and tell the whole truth. Foundational Black American freedmen are the most forgiving people in this country. Even to our detriment, we forgive a lot of times. We do. You know what I'm saying? Look, very few people are as ornery and hardcore and old man as I am, because you know how I feel about apologies with certain things. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you can take your apology and flush it, goddammit. But, the greater majority of our people, man, are very compassionate, very forgiving, even to our detriment a lot of times, okay? Now, y'all know what I've said about that forgiveness and showing so-called grace, air quotes. We need to reserve that for our own people and extend leeway to the brothers like this that are willing to say, hey, man, you know what? Let me just go ahead and put the cards on the table and be honest, And he wouldn't have a problem being accepted around no foundational Black American freedmen if he stood on business like that and said, nope, I'm not going to be a part of disparaging these people because I understand that they're the reason my family was able to come here and be productive. So I want y'all to hear the rest of what the young man is talking about.
Where I ended up going to a place where when I went to school, when I had to walk to school in the morning, there were kids in trucks saying fuck niggers and throwing shit at us. The amount of shit that I went through, and then to even more effect, right? We're living in the suburbs, away from most black people. This man started calling me a murderer, gangbanger, and all this stuff when I was like 14, just getting into high school, and he would call everyone he knew, family members, friends, all that, call them all up. Oh, Nyake's a gangbanger, he's a murderer, he's a thief, he does so much, that man spent my entire life. So I don't even talk to that man because who would? Nah. But anyways, yeah, that's a whole different situation. I work with Africans. You feel me? I'm a postal worker. There have been plenty of times where I'll be working and the type of shit that they would say, like I had one guy, he offered to take me to lunch. He was like, oh, let me take you to lunch, woo, woo, woo. I'm like, okay. He's like, I want to show you a bit about my culture. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I know he's Nigerian and whatnot. He was being cool. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I didn't think anything of it until we get to the fucking restaurant. And this guy goes, yeah, man, I see you're a hard worker. Black people don't work like that. They're just so lazy, and you're just one of an exemplary example.
Now, let me pause it right here, okay? Because he's about to get into something that we've been talking about for years. Quick thing I got to address, all right? Now, this is what I've preached on this channel for as long as it's been established over here. A lot of the tether class that have that anti-Black American sentiment that don't even understand you in the belly of the beast of white supremacy, You think that if you move over to a white neighborhood, that you safe. But we know that you are moving behind enemy lines because they don't want your black ass over there no matter how much smoke they blow up your ass talking about you work harder and you so much smarter and you not like them. That's all cool until you move over there and you got your kids over there with little Connor and Tiffany. Oh, no, they ain't trying to hear that. So you move over there behind enemy lines, you put yourself in danger. And the brother Bruce said, now, this is a very good question by the brother Bruce. He says, in today's time in history, do you think FBA parents should caution their children about tether mentality and behavior like we do white supremacists? Today's kids are more exposed than we were. Yes, sir. I'm so glad that you brought that up. See, this is what I love about my audience. Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you why. If it was me and I had children, I definitely would make them aware of not only white supremacy, but those that are white supremacists adjacent. Because, see, as the brother Bruce said, they're more exposed than we are. And this is a new variable because when we were coming up, we had no clue that these people felt this way about us. So I would responsibly teach them that, hey, anybody that's exhibiting hatred towards you like that, yes, you need to be aware of that person. Because unfortunately, and a lot of people don't like when I say this, the tether class are an extension and a tool of white supremacy. We got to go here because, see, I'm one of the people, I've said this for the longest. Y'all remember a couple years back when across the country we were seeing all these different hangings going on? Well, I threw this theory out here and it's going to be just as unpopular again tonight, but I got to say it. How do we not know that some of the tether class didn't help set up our brothers and sisters to be, lynched by these white supremacists? Because think about it. If you're around another melanated person, your guard is kind of down. Think about it. The Proud Boys have so-called melanated wives, okay? And then we've constantly seen how some of the tether class have expressed the sentiments that, hey, you know what I'm saying? They agree with the white supremacists. Y'all remember, you know what I'm saying, that tether that was running around with Jacob Lane that I exposed on previous broadcasts over here? He was adopted and raised by white folks. So, I mean, yes, we definitely need to be making our children aware that there are certain people that have a skin tone like them that have the same anti-black sentiment as white supremacists. So very good question, brother. And now, see, I want y'all to listen to what he's about to say here, this brother here, with this, he's about to express this, because, see, we know the con game. We got sense enough to not trust anything coming out them people's little pink, thin earthworm lips. But see, unfortunately, that tether class, because in a lot of their homelands before they get here, they're trained and taught to worship white people. They are trained and taught that, hey, whatever the white people say, oh, these words are gold. And if you get their approval, you've made it in life, let alone you end up, marrying into the family with one of them. Oh, you got it made. I want y'all to listen to the rest of this account he's about to describe that, one of his employees was telling him, talking crazy about black Americans. Check this out.
Oh, I wanted to lose my shit. I wanted to lose my shit. One, I stopped him. I said, pause, man. And he was like, because he was trying to show me jollof rice. And he was trying to tell me about jollof rice like it was some great shit. And I said, stop right there. I said, one, this jollof rice is nasty as hell. Whoever cooked it can't cook for shit. Because your meat shouldn't be chewy like motherfucking gum. Two, I'm African. Three, that was racist as hell. And I got up and left. Another example. It's actually just like about a week ago. There's a guy at my job named Joseph, which Lord knows that's not his name. What's his name? Mwangi. Anyways, motherfucker gonna ask me. Oh no, not even ask me. I said I was African. Because everyone was talking about shit. I was like, shit, I'm African, but you wouldn't, He's like, you're not African. Is one of your parents African? He was like, you're a half-breed, right? Like both of my parents. Oh, well, you never been back home. I was there as a child. Oh, well, you don't have an accent, so how's African supposed to know? Why is that how you judge somebody? Why are you pulling out a meter stick to judge how African I am? What the fuck? So, hey, I really could give you a lot of examples. Because these niggas ain't shit. I had these two Africans try to pull me out the truck saying I stole the drugs they ordered in the mail. I stole it because I'm black. It wasn't because the package came to the station. with a fucking hole in it. The manager saw it, right? And I had to fill out we gotta fill out a little paperwork, say that the package came in damaged. Well, before we take it, because it's an express, I gotta go give an empty package to someone. I'm trying to cover my ass. I'll get over there. These motherfuckers gonna try to pull me out the mail truck, try to fight me, taking all these pictures, and then they started running around asking people if they knew me. I was like, bro, I went back to that man's house and I said, look here, I'm finna call the feds on y'all, because one, your sons are ordering drugs through the mail, and then because I'm black, I had to have stole it. I wasn't gonna say nothing about your kids ordering fucking drugs in the mail, but now you're trying to fucking kill me. Or no, they actually found out where my car was at, right? Because they were stalking me hard.
Now I want y'all to listen to what he's describing. Don't this just sound like some tilde class nonsense? Boy, they are not the sharpest knives in the drawer. You trying to order drugs through the mail? See, that's a part of that coming over to a country and you don't understand how the country works. You might get away with that tilde class bullshit back in your homeland, but you can't do it over here. Okay? So, I mean, it just sounds like some tethery BS that was going on the more that he describes this. And then they wonder why we delineate. Like, no, we got our own problems that we're responsible for. We're not going to accept your trash because, look, if you're going to be Nigerian, Jamaican, Haitian, whatever you're going to be, hey, when you're doing good, you're going to be that when you're doing bad too. Like, nope. And see, I am so glad that they are starting to make that distinction, coming up with like certain things that we have to identify on. That's long overdue. They even breaking up, you know what I'm saying, how they identify these white folks. And I'm going to tell y'all why they're doing that. See, let's talk about that briefly before we let this brother continue. Okay, and salute to the brother Gregory Campbell for the cash out. Thank you very much, my good man. Let me tell you something. The reason why they're starting to be honest about, okay, what the actual white population is, a lie only serves you when, hey, you're not behind the 8 ball. Okay, yeah, you can lie all you want to. Hey, you can classify Asians, Hispanics, East Indians, Arabs, all them people as white. But now they realize they're best and brightest that are actually looking at the crisis that, the alabaster people are facing with these plummeting birth rates. They're like, listen, we got to stop telling these lies. We need to know, not just only them, because they already know, the doctors, the scientists, they know how bad it is. They need to get the other white people on code and say, look, the bullshit is up. Our numbers are not what we've been telling y'all. This is where they really are. So what they're doing, they're going to put out the real numbers of what these white folks are so that they can get their people on code and be like, look, you see now, we can't be bullshitting. We got to be serious about this white supremacy. Because see, you're not going to win a war with half your troops believing false information. You have to have accurate intel. You understand? So for a lot of you that's probably wondering why they're getting ready to do that, there's your reason right there. You see, I try to present it to my audience in a way where it makes sense coming down the line. That's what I've done over the years on many things. Y'all was like, brother, you said that years in advance. Okay? Because we need to understand what we're getting ready to deal with. Because I'm not the only person that have said this. The lower their numbers are and the more that they realize the situation they're in, you're going to see more of them doing what Eric Arwal has done, going up and setting up their little white supremacist enclaves, etc. It's going to be more of them doing that. See, the lower their numbers get, the more extreme their behavior is going to become. Okay? But I want to let the brother continue with what he's saying here. Get back to it.
And the dude that was a mechanic there, funny enough, was one of their cousins. And I told him, hey, man, you better get your cousins because you and them going to get hurt. And I'm going to file a police report because y'all stalking me and this is fucking Texas. I'm finna blow y'all shit. But I had to have been Steve because I was black. I couldn't have had to just been the person that has to deliver it because y'all live on my fucking route. But hey. And they don't even recognize me. I was a mailman for how long? They acting like I'm just some brand new person. But that's how ignorant some motherfuckers are. As soon as it comes to black people, it's an instant hate. Instant. And they don't like to see black people that do well either. Like, you doing well for yourself? Ooh, they don't like that shit. They don't like that shit. It's like you spit in their face or something.
Let's talk about that real quick, okay? Because I know why the tilde class hates that. See, I'm not trying to be cruel and I'm not trying to punch down, but we're going to talk facts over here. The reason why the tilde class that seems to have such aggressive anti-Black American sentiments for us to the point that it's insane. Because if you look at history, the greater majority of our people have done nothing but try to help them. and advocate for their causes, whether it's the South Africans, whether it's helping the Ethiopians. Many of us went over there against the United States government's wishes to help them, make sure that Italy didn't colonize them, because Ethiopia is the only country that was never colonized. They came close to it. If not for the help of Foundational Black American Freedmen, shout out to the legendary John C. Robinson, the Brown Condor. Okay. I could name time after time where our people were in solidarity with them if they were being mistreated anywhere on the continent and in parts of the Caribbean. Okay. But see, here's the reason why some of them have those anti-FBA sentiments. And I've always said this, that I place this primarily on the backs of the tether class men. Okay. It is the job of men to be the producers, builders, and protectors of any society. That is not the women's job. The women's job is to be nurturers. Yes, there's exceptions to the rule, but that, building the society and protecting it, that is the job of the men. Now, when the men fail and the men, women, and the children have to flee, okay, and you come here to our homeland and you see us in the belly of the beast, despite not being in control of the country, not, owning the lion's share of things, but we're defiant and we still exceed and thrive without running away. That makes you hold up a mirror to your soul and you start to resent the fact that, damn, these people ain't running and they're thriving in spite of the white supremacy and the anti-black racism. Oh man, that make me look like I ain't worth two dead flies put together. I got to be honest. They know this. And look, hey, some hit dogs gonna holler tonight if they hear this. It is what it is. You know that's what you're thinking, because see, you looking at us and you saying, especially if you're a man, okay? You looking at us and you saying, damn it, man, I can't do nothing but hate this motherfucker. He ain't had to flee his homeland. Look how well he's doing. And then we ain't got to work 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 jobs to make it and stay 80,000 people in a house to get by. We just don't have to do that, okay? We don't. Now, since I'm not a woman, I have to speculate on what the tether wenches, because I'm just going to make an educated guess on what the tether wenches will probably think when they look at Foundational Black American Freedmen sisters. I'm going to tell you what the tether wenches hate. They hate the fact, number one, first and foremost, that Foundational Black American Freedmen women, no matter what you want to talk about, no matter which class of woman you're talking about over here, they hate the fact that they see most of these white men lusting over them. And most sisters are like, I ain't tripping off that. If I want Zaddy, I can have him. But Zaddy ain't most sister style that's in FBA lineage, okay? That's a small percentage that are Zaddy crazy. And they look at them like, you silly bitch. Don't you see that Zaddy has a thing for you? If I were you and Zaddy wanted me, or if Zaddy wanted me, you just don't know how good you have it. And most of our sisters are like, nah, baby. Look, I can get what I need from Zaddy without having to touch him. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause look, I got to salute my sisters. I have seen some sisters with some talk game regarding Zaddy that, look, you got some sisters with some crisp mouthpieces that they can talk a monkey out his last banana and make that motherfucker smile while handing it over. They hate the fact that if they gonna get something from Zaddy, it ain't gonna come for free. You know what Zaddy got to do? Zaddy gonna be like, yeah, you can get what I got, but we got to put you in this Ghetto Gaggers video. Oh yeah, I'm going here. Yes, I am. Because see, for those of you that don't know, and pray tell for the innocent ears and eyes over here, please don't Google Ghetto Gaggers if you an innocent person that's gonna traumatize you. But the greater majority of those so-called black women on there, those are tethers, because you can hear it when they speak and you can tell by their features. Look, most Foundational Black American Freedmen sisters ain't finna do all that. They're not finna go be in no adult film with Zaddy stepping on their head and putting watermelon on top of them and spitting on them and all. Hell no. Why would she do that when she can just tickle Brad's ears, and work that Foundational Black American Freedmen woman mojo charm on them and just, hey, go ahead and let me get them dollars about you, player. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've seen it. I'm just saying, man. And they resent a lot of you sisters because they don't have that. And the other thing that they resent that, hey, you are the epicenter of beauty standards. Now, I know that we have a lot of our women that have a self-esteem issue, and this is why I really wish that those sisters would wake up and realize that, hey, the white woman is trying to look like you, okay? All these women, the Asian women, they're trying to talk like you. All these other demographics of women are looking to emulate you. So there are brothers like myself that try to pull our sister's coattails. We get it. You want to be versatile and do things, but hey, don't lose yourself in trying to be other people because you the secret sauce. I've been damn near all over this planet. Everywhere I go, I see them trying to emulate our women. I don't care where it's at. Japan, Germany, Australia, wherever you want to name, okay? They all trying to emulate our women. There's an envy there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, hey, I'm just making educated guesses on why the tether winches are angry, okay? And then on top of that, this is the main thing. The tether winches are angry that, hey, where they come from, they men go upside their head like that. Now here, that's something that most foundational Black American freedmen men frown upon. You can't come around a bunch of brothers that are actually upstanding straight-laced brothers and say you beat on your woman and we gonna co-sign that. Now, let's see over in some of their countries where they come from, and I'm not just talking about continental Africans, I'm talking about some of these, Middle Eastern women, okay? Definitely these Indian women. Oh my God, Jesus, man, if y'all do your research on that, boy, they turn their women into punching bags. I'm like, my God, bro, don't you look at that as a human being? Like, if they come from them cultures like that, that's why they resent a lot of you sisters, because they look at you like you have it easy. You don't know what it's like to be in a country where your men have a hatred for you, So, that's just some educated guesses on that. But we're going to let this brother continue with his experiences here because we got more to show y'all tonight. Let me tell you something. I'm going to warn you ahead of time what's coming up. When I show y'all everything that I've been talking about here, if you stay to just a couple more minutes, I'm going to show y'all something that y'all going to be like, nah, bro, this can't be real. Okay? You're going to see why there's a reason why we need to have some division. So we're going to get to that part of the broadcast in a little bit here. Let's let it continue.
I don't know, but my biggest thing, and I know I done seen other people say it, but yo, if y'all the people that was the top of your country that came over here, and you're comparing yourselves to these other regular Americans thinking, oh, we're so much better than them. No, you need to compare yourself to the 10% here because you ain't nothing there. You ain't nowhere close. Not at all. Like all this shit, all this arrogance and shit. Because the only thing they really need to do is just fucking apologize. Just that's really it. But people that are that arrogant and that racist and that so into me and all that shit, they're not going to do it. And that's Africans. Even when it comes to parent-child relationships. A lot of African parents that got kids here, they don't talk to their kids. Their kids don't want to talk to them because our parents are fucking out of pocket sometimes and they feel like, oh, I'm your parent. I don't owe you apology. I don't owe you any respect as a human being. You have to, if you don't listen to me and just accept the bullshit I'm putting you through, you're being disrespectful. And we're not just a lot of us just don't take it. Like you see a lot of us don't tell no one that we're African. Motherfucking name, bro. Like no one would know I'm African unless I told them my name and that my parents are from Africa. Shit done got there, bro. And this shit, bro, and all because motherfuckers got egos and can't say, I'm sorry, we were wrong. They wrong for the most part.
Whole foundation.
So I got to respect that young man once again for having the courage to really tell his story and just keep it real with, like, hey, this is how a lot of our parents react and talk about foundational Black Americans and our upbringing. Okay, that does start in the household. They don't just pop out like that one day and act that way. And see, this is the insanity about them having that sentiment. The countries that they had to flee from, we didn't go over there and put them in an economically deprived state or colonize them. That was Zaddy that did that. Isn't that crazy? You flee from home and then you come to the nation of the people that colonized you and you try to make this your home. Absolute insanity, okay? And see, I have to correct the brother on one thing. He said that, we can't tell them apart as we look at that name. Nah, brother, we actually can with a lot of y'all. Very few of y'all that can blend in what we can't tell. Nah, we can tell. It's in your demeanor, sometimes your facial features, and ain't no disrespect. We just saying we can tell. We know our people. Just like if we go to the continent, they know that we're not from around there. Even before we speak, they can tell. They can. Okay? And the sister Win Ben's Grass, she said that people used to tease her for her full lips and hair. Oh, no, my sister. I got to brag on you. You are very lovely. I've seen you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, sister, you are gorgeous. Hey, man, I guarantee you, that most of them folks that tease you about your hair and your lips coming up, I guarantee you probably got some story where they all probably done tried to holler at you. And that's a solid sister right there, though. Shout out to her. But family, listen, I'm going to play something else here. This is an Ethiopian lady. Now, she's going to be keeping it all the way 1,000 too. And see, this is very important that I show this here tonight because, see, listen, man, there are some of them that do get it. And we want to give them their credit. They do get it. Unfortunately, they're just not in the majority over here, okay? So I want y'all to listen to what she has to say. I'm going to let this play without interruption.
Black American conversation. What's the problem? I see my African brothers and sisters getting very offended by this, but I am struggling to understand why, because there is a difference. For example, our ancestors didn't build this bitch. Our ancestors weren't the ones who fought for equality for everyone in this country so that we could immigrate here. Our moms, our dads, our grandparents. Oh, not to mention a lot of those fathers and mothers and grandparents and aunties are racist as hell. Like unambiguous.
And I was going to let this play without interruption, but I got to take the chance to double down on this just in case there's some on-code, non-FBA brothers and sisters over here. Again, notice that a lot of them, they tend to think that because, their parents have anti-Black American bigotry, they confuse that with racism. Again, I want to take the time to make sure I'm clear on that. For any younger non-FBA person, I strongly advise you to study the work of Neely Fuller Jr. and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, okay? Because you will understand that racism is systematic. It's prejudice plus power. Not just name calling. It's not just having a negative sentiment towards a person. You have to be able to deprive that person of resources, okay, and oppress them based on the color of their skin. It takes power to do that, all right? So it's not racism. Just wanted to point that out. I was going to let it cook for a minute here, but I had to make sure that I'm clear on that. Let's let it continue.
Anti-Black, racist as all hell. My sisters and I had to beat that shit out of our Ethiopian parents with the quickness. But I can't deny that it was there. We are African Americans in the most literal way one can be. And they are Black Americans, built into the foundation of this country. So foundational Black American, I don't understand what the problem is. How does that negatively impact us? I can't think of one time that my Ethiopian American ass has been subjugated due to a Black American calling themselves foundational. I don't get it.
Get into it.
Now, I'm glad that she understands that, because all we're doing with delineation is saying, hey, listen, for the longest time, we tried to have unity with a lot of these different people. And, hey, you can't force something down somebody's throat that they don't want. You can't do it. So we're like, all right, cool. You know what? We'll go over here and focus on ourselves. It's no hatred. Got nothing against you. But, hey, we just going to go over here and do our own thing. Let you do your thing. Now that we're starting to embrace that, because to be honest with you, here's the killing part about it. They actually started the delineation. They've been delineating for us for decades, man. And now we're like, you know what? You're right. This is a good idea. We're going to go over here and focus on our people and deal with what we got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? See, like the Ethiopian American sister said there, hey, nobody's hurting you. But I'm going to tell you what the problem is. They understand, even when they espouse all that anti-FBA sentiment, they understand that without us advocating for you, you really kind of naked here. You don't have any protection. A lot of other groups, not just continental Africans and Caribbeans, are finding this out. Look at Horchata Hector early in the broadcast. Hey, they scared now with all these apologies coming out of nowhere. Family, let me ask this question too. Can y'all remember a time in this country where this many people apologized to us for anything? All these apologies just popping out of the air, man. Like it's kind of like pulling rabbits out of hats. When the last time has anybody ever apologized to us this much? When the last time? I can't remember. Because they're afraid. They know that without us, you don't have any protection or advocacy. Okay? That's a terrible spot for you to be in. All right? They know what time it is, family. So I want you to listen to this brother right here. He's going to tell some truth about Caribbean people, okay? And see, in just a minute, we're going to get into the other side of this conversation about who we don't unify with. Let it continue.
Says Caribbean people believe that YHT people like immigrants more than Black Americans. It's a myth. Wake up, people. It surely is a myth. You know why these Caribbean people believe that? I'm going to tell you why. When they come to America as an immigrant, they're sold the false myth that black Americans are lazy and do not want to work. What that myth does is trick them psychologically so they could overwork themselves to look better, right, on paper than black people in America do. Not realizing that the black people in America build what you're standing on.
Now, let me pause the brother right here. See, let me talk to the tether class for a minute. Let me talk to you. In addition to you believing the alabaster people, okay, with the pink, thin, earth-wearing lips, you know, the people that are responsible for colonizing the greater majority of your nations that you had to flee from, you believe all the lies that come out them little pink, thin, earthworm lips. But like this brother just said, the joke's on you because they blow that smoke up your ass to make you work yourself to death for less money, okay? And then you think that you doing something just to get that little pat on the head from white daddy. Meanwhile, this is why you angry and resent us because, hey, we ain't got to work 10, 12 jobs to make ends meet. You running around, turn around in circles like a damn hamster on a wheel, chasing that Zaddy approval carrot, which you never gonna catch. And all of a sudden, you know, while Zaddy sitting there watching you bust your ass like that for peanuts, they sit back and talk about you like a dog. We know it. Look, you know how we know it is foundational Black American freedom? Because I got to go here tonight. Before a lot of you immigrated over here, y'all think back, if you're a Gen Xer like me, you remember those commercials, the Sally Struthers commercials and, you know, National Geographic. And boy, you talk about some of the most anti-African, you know, content ever or racist content. You know how they always, if they show anything about an African country, it would always be the poorest, destitute places to the point that if you've never been there, you would think that they didn't have any industrialized cities, which they do, okay, all across that continent. They would always present that as the face of your people and be talking cash shit about over here. And you know who defended you? Foundational Black Americans. We always said, nope, you're not going to talk about them people like that. We defended you. It wasn't the white people defending you against them. No, it was us. So when we take ire against you for that, this is the reason why, because that's betrayal. We were like, you ungrateful, tetherized bastard, you. All this time we've been defending your black ass, and you over here got this hatred for us, and we ain't done you nothing, and have sacrificed for you to be here. This is why we get on your asses like that if you're part of that tether class. Because for the, look, family, am I lying? Am I lying? I guarantee you some of you in this chat room, and no shame if you were, some of you in this chat room probably had somewhat Pan-African sentiments before you learn about how some of these people feel about us. For the longest time, we've been taking over for them, man. And look, here's another thing I got to mention before I let this brother continue cooking here. They always get to talking about what we did or who picked on them as far as roasting back when they was kids. But they don't ever tell you about what the white people said, because you know damn well white folks, if they be around Caribbean or African people, they don't just treat them like, oh, they wanted to. Man, come on, man. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? They know better than that. They don't tell you how many times they called them stump jumpers or monkeys or N-words, or some of them. You got some of the white people over here, they even knew about the kafir term, okay? And, you know, I hate to even use that term on this stream, but this is what they called them. Oh, just every white person in your life just treated you like you were just the salt of the earth. Come on, man. We know better than that. We live in America. We know how these people think about them. You know what I'm saying? But see, they hide that part. They act like the white people just care so much about them. I'm like, man, it's one thing if you're going to tell yourself that lie. But when you start to believe that as if it's real, well, hey, you know, you too far gone to save at this point. So I'm going to let this brother continue here because, like I said, man, we have to have these conversations and tell the whole truth. You cannot shy away from the whole truth just because you're ashamed of it. You deal with it, put the cards on the table, and move forward from there. Let them continue.
That's how it is. The black people in America, they build what you came here to stand on. So you could come here and achieve the right to vote, the right to get a job, the right to take a bus and not sit in the back, the right to use the same public restrooms, the right to do a lot of different things. So black people in America fought for that right for you. Caribbean people. You understand? And when you get to the United States, instead of saying thank you or appreciating blacks in America, what you do, you run with this false myth that black people in America are lazy. They don't want to work, and you're here to outwork them, and you look good and they look bad. That I know it's in a lot of your heads because you don't study American history. You understand? You don't realize the amount of black people that died so other blacks could come here and enjoy the privileges you have in America today. You dig what I'm saying? And I've been saying this forever. You don't get it. Like Caribbean people.
Now, let me pause right here because, see, the brother's actually right. You all know on this platform, if you've been over here as a long time subscriber, and if you're a new subscriber over here, because we have many, go down the archives of this channel. We always teach about how history correlates to present day and how understanding that is the key to navigating both the present and the future. I got to go here, and I'm not doing this to be mean-spirited, but we just got to talk reality over here. And this is something I want every foundational Black American freedman and non-everyday person that's on code over here to remember. The next time that if you have any discourse with people that have these type of anti-foundational Black American sentiments, I got to go here. Family, imagine this. In some alternate universe, okay, and bear with me, this is going to make sense. In some alternate universe, let's just say our identities were transposed, okay? And the non-FBA people were over here during the time of Jim Crow, the Civil Rights era, and we were over in their nations. Family, what do you think would have happened if they had to go through the hardships of Jim Crow and the Black Codes? Just based off what we see. Because if we're going to go off of indication, any indication of what they've done to answer their hardship problems, they run away from hardship. So really, if the identities were transposed, because we have to look at, the indicator of their behavior today, a lot of them would have run away. They wouldn't have fought back. You would not have had any Nat Turner rebellions. You wouldn't have had any Denmark Vesey rebellions. Okay, you would not have had a Malcolm X. You would not have had a Martin Luther King. You would not have had a Fannie Lou Hamer. You would not have had an Ida B. Wells. Oh, come on now. You wouldn't have had a Dr. John Henry Clark. You wouldn't have had none of the people that sacrificed their very livelihood for us to be where we are, because all of them would have ran away. They wouldn't have fought nothing. Imagine what America would look like if all of them, they're like, oh, Jim Crow time. Get down and lay down. They're like, oh, no, we got to run. Hey, boy, they blew up them inner tubes, and y'all know, the tethers, the Fleet Force One, the shoes they got to choose, boy. It's Joppa time. They would have strapped them Fleet Force Ones on and took off. Now, you think about us, if we would, in their situation, I got to go here. People can say it's arrogance, but look at what we do here as a minority. Chances are, if our identities were transposed, their nations would not look that way. Because listen, man, if we had our numbers up, were we the majority? Man, let me tell you something, man. That South Africa situation, oh, that apartheid would have came to an end real quick. I'm going to go even further. Nelson Mandela wouldn't have never got taken to Robben Island. We were like, oh, no, you not. You the minority here, man. We would have, man, come on now. Y'all know how we are. We're like, bitch, we got the majority numbers, and you think that you finna oppress us and rule our nations? Oh, okay. Wait right there. Got something for that. I'm trying to tell you. Y'all know, look, man, history shows that that's exactly how that would have played out. And see, unfortunately, I'm going to tell you something. The reason why a lot of them don't like to study our history here, because they know that's what would have happened. You can't call our people cowardly or lazy and look back at the history that we have in this country and make that make sense. You can't do it. So I just want y'all to remember that the next time y'all choose to engage in any of these with any of these people regarding that particular conversation. Let's let it continue.
People, stop riding this bandwagon. Black people in America are not lazy. They're tired. They are tired because unlike your country, Caribbean country that you came for, they're not the majority in America. Blacks in America are not the majority, right? And what's in America? Systematic racism and deliberate oppression towards black people for decades. because a lot of racists are pissed off that blacks in America no longer have to work for free for them. So they're mad at black people. So what they do, they import you, the Caribbean people, and sell you a story, which is a unique divide and conquer technique. So they divide black people. This is why you find some black Americans who do not like Caribbean people, right? Because they realize you don't understand the depth of what's going on here or what happened here. This is why you find it. Besides those who are just xenophobic, there's some black people in America, they don't like Caribbean people because you're lost. You don't study. You get what I'm saying? And you try to disrespect them. They didn't leave America and come to the Caribbean. You left the Caribbean and came to America. So they didn't come to your house. You came to their house. Get that here. You dig what I'm saying? And instead of opening your ear, listening, open your cranium, read, understand, study history, get the facts, you run with a false narrative and think you're better than somebody, in which way you're not. Okay, you're not better than nobody.
Now, the brother was cooking, and the only thing that I want to clarify so that he and any other Caribbean person, because we got all types of people over here on this platform from all over the world, okay? It's not that we don't like Caribbeans or Africans or whatever. We have a problem with the tether class amongst them. Keyword class. If you are not in that category where you have an anti-Black American sentiments or, trying to undermine our people, what we trying to do over here, we don't have an issue or problem with you at all. We do not. But now, ladies and gentlemen, here we're going to show you who we do have a problem with, because what you see on the screen here, unity with colonized minds, is insanity. And salute to the good brother, Black King Minds, for the cash out. Thank you very much, my good man. I appreciate you. Let me tell you something. Unity with colonized minds is definitely insanity, because you got to understand a couple of things. And I want y'all to brace yourselves, because I'm going to give the disclaimer yet again. Anytime that I try to educate my people with something that I'm familiar with, a lot of you probably not being, used to seeing, I try to warn you. So prepare your mind for what you're about to see. Let me tell you why you can't do that. When you have an oppressed people looking at their oppressors as people that are not to be opposed or to be overthrown or to be challenged, and they look at these people as if, okay, if I can't beat them, I may as well join them. You cannot unify with that type of mindset, because those people are the ones that are going to be quick to sell you out and will do anything they can to undermine you in hopes of gaining approval of their oppressors, okay? I often give the example of the Judenreich during the Nazi Germany in the Third Reich era. For those that don't know, in case you're a young person listening and you're not familiar with that part of geopolitical history there, the Judenreich were the Jewish people that turned on their own and ushered them into the gas chambers working for the Nazis. You have some people amongst us that will do that, particularly that tether class. And we definitely have some LBA sellouts as well, because see, that's the difference. We call out our sellouts and ostracize them. Unfortunately, too many of them let their sellouts run around and they don't warn people about who they are. Hey, if Larry Elder or Jesse Lee Peterson or any one of these other Sambos or sellouts that's of our lineage come walking around, we gonna make sure like, hey man, hold up. This fuck nigga over here or that health over there, hey man, we don't rock with them. That's one of the biggest buck dancing sellouts and Sambos it is, man. Nah, watch your back, man. Don't trust them. We gonna let you know who they are. They won't say nothing about their sellouts that come over here until they become a Candace Owens or a Myron Gaines, okay? So now we're going to show y'all a couple of things here on what you can't unify with. And I'm going to say it one more time, family. I want you to brace yourself. What I'm about to show you is probably going to be very shocking. Just prepare yourself, because this is what's going on in modern day. What I'm about to show you is happening right now in many of these nations where these tethers come from. I want y'all to check this out.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let me try them. Let me see if they're any good. Very good, very good. You did a good job.
Thank you. The eyebrows face.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let me try them. Let me see if they're any good. Very good, very good. You did a good job.
Thank you.
My dream is to become a psychologist, and I want to marry a white man. And live in Constantia. I want to live with my husband and my 2 daughters. My dream is to become a psychologist, and I want to marry a white man. And live in Constantia. I want to live with my husband and my 2 daughters.
Black people would die without white people. And quite frankly, they're our only allies that we have in this world. Africans sure as hell don't like us. And quite frankly, they're the ones that sold us into slavery. And if you really think about it, we don't produce anything, we don't own anything, and we damn sure do not know how to live off the land. And with all the dysfunction that is coming out of our communities, I don't think people will want to help us. We as a community need to change our worldview, and we have to be accountable for the things that is happening within our community and actually come together and do something about it. This toxic relationship that we have with white people and this built up anger that we have against them, it needs to come to an end. I'm telling you guys, the people at the top is loving this. As we stay distracted, they destroy our country. True Americans do not care about race. And if you are a person that cares about race, then you are a part of the problem. We live in the greatest country in the world, and there's people out there that would die to be in our positions, and there's people out there that do die to try to get here. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, united we stand, and divided we fall.
Yep. And I know, family. I know, because see, again, what I try to do on this platform is educate my people so that I give you the truth. I'm not the lie to kick it platform. I'm going to tell you what the realities are. Now, let me be clear. Am I saying all continental African or Caribbean people like that? No, but it's too damn many over here. Okay, over here, there's too damn many, and I got to tell the truth. The footage that you saw of that African sister kneeling down on her knees to white men, I've seen worse than that in some of their nations. I have. Y'all, look, I ain't even talking about no put together Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio white man. No, you go to some of these countries, you got 60, 70-year-old or fat, dusty white dudes, man, coming over there, man. Hey, boy, some of them, they don't care what they look like. They think all white people are rich, and this is what they'll do. And, I'm going to spare y'all telling y'all some of the stuff I've seen with my own eyes. Just know that mindset right there, once it gets to that point, let me tell you something. That lady that you saw, the first clip, kneeling down, serving that white man, don't you know she'll slit your throat to defend him? Once they're that far gone, man, with some of the stuff I just showed y'all, and especially the last one there talking about weedness, and I don't believe she's of our lineage, because most foundational Black American freedmen young ladies do not talk like that. All this us and we, with that defeatist mentality. Our sisters come from a resistant culture. I don't see too many foundational Black American freedmen women submitting and bending the knee. Our women, look, let me tell you something, dog. Real talk. If our women talk shit to us and don't back down, you really think that they gonna bow down to these white men? I ain't seen it. I don't see it. Nah, it might be a few out there, but damn it, that ain't what I know. Those are not our sisters. That's why I don't believe that last one was of our lineage. But my point that I'm making to you is, family, when you have a colonized mind like that, that's too far gone to reach. It ain't nothing you can do with that, but make sure that we recognize it and ostracize them away from other on-code Black people, whether they FBA or non-FBA. And nothing you can do with that. You have to become comfortable with realizing that everybody ain't gonna make it. Everybody ain't gonna make it. Some people you cannot save, okay? Because in their homelands, what a lot of people won't tell you, they fantasize about not only growing up and marrying white people, some of them fantasize about actually being white. I got to go here. Why you think that skin look, let me tell you something, man. If you want to make some money very fast, you know what you could do? Even from right over here. Invest in a skin bleaching company. Go buy you some stocks, or either start you one and export the product over there. You literally would be a multimillionaire. That's just how bad it is in some continental African, Caribbean, and Latin American nations. Oh, I ain't leaving them out. Don't think they don't bleach either. Oh, yes, they do. India, that's another place you could make some money. I'm telling you, man. See, listen, we are the only group of people that have ever espoused the sentiment, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Nobody on the planet has been more proud of our melanated hue, be we darker skin, pecan tan, butterscotch completed. We are proud to be black people, okay? That came from us. We made everybody else want to be proud to be black. So I'm telling you, we have to acknowledge that this mindset, that colonized mindset of idolizing the oppressor, it runs deep. And then don't get me started on the spiritual colonized mindset, where you got white men that can come over there and grow out a beard and put long hair on. They be chasing behind them thinking that he's Jesus. Oh, yeah, we remember that. We remember how a lot of them were crying when that accursed Queen Elizabeth died, so-called queen, may she rest in peace. You crying for your colonizer that brutalized your people? Huh? We remember all these things over here, man. So you see, and then, like I said, when you have over 19 African nations that are willingly, and Caribbean nations that are a part of willingly of the British Commonwealth, thinking that you are an extension of the British Crown, when these people are steady neo-colonizing you to this day. See, listen, man, I just got to say it, man. Like Kendrick said, man, we different, man. They're not like us. They're just not. They are not like us, family. They're not. Because, see, if you thought that was bad, I got something else to show you. They're not like us, family, and we don't need to be ashamed to say that, because I saved the worst one for last. Okay, now, if you on my YouTube short section, you probably saw this already. Let me say this to the class men that ever tried to talk bad about us. And you might want to clip this portion of the broadcast to use the next time a tether gets out of line. Let me make this statement before I play this. You don't ever see the greater majority of foundational Black American freedmen men doing what you're doing, or this guy's about to do, and you damn sure don't see any FBA women doing this. If you are a man and you do what I'm about to show y'all here, you lose all credibility and rights to critique foundational Black American freedmen about anything, because you are completely defeated and you basically useless. You have surrendered your manhood card if you ever do this. The only way it could be worse is if he tooted his pussy up in the air and just surrendered. I'm going to play this for y'all, because, see, again, I'm going to play this without interruption. You might want to get ready to screen record. I'll give you a couple of seconds, because you're going to want to refer back to this. If any one of them ever try to pop fly at y'all, you use this here and say, hey, when have you ever seen us doing this right here? I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Help us. Without your hand, we are nothing. Without the white people, without the white men, there is no life. Africa, to be Africa, it must be Europe. Go see how South Africa looks like today. The white people built it, South Africa. Beautiful South Africa. Just because of you white people. You are a great kingdom. You are blessed by God to be who you are today. God blessed you. You are a fighting hand. Thank you. I love you. I want to be somewhere. You go connect me with the black world in America.
Man, did y'all see that and hear that, family? Did y'all see it? Look, y'all want me to play that again? Because some of y'all probably didn't have time to record that if you chose to. Do y'all want me to run that back one more time? I know you probably saying, nah, brother, that ain't real. You made that up. No, I didn't. Y'all know we don't fake the funk over here. Look, for the new people that might think, oh, you just put that together. No, because my audience will tell you, my day ones will tell you, hey, if I'm joking about something, I made it up, I'm going to let you know if I made it up or not, okay? Yeah, y'all want me to run that back one more time? Now, as a man, y'all think about that. Is there any brother in here that has ever seen that amongst our people in your life? I'm like, boy, he couldn't take the alabaster dick out his mouth. Y'all want me to run that back one more time? Because I will if y'all need to see it again, because a lot of people might be like, oh, no, bro, there ain't no way that's real. Oh, I promise you it's real. Y'all want to see it again? Because I look, the next time one of them try to get jazz at the mouth, like, nope. You need to account for this. Because, see, let me say this before I play this clip one more time. When the women see the men of any group, I don't care who it is, submitting to the colonizers, let me tell you what women think, even if they don't tell you to their face. The women will be like, damn, you mean to tell me that this is what our men think about the people that's coming in here doing all this to us? First of all, they feel anger because they've been betrayed. And then the next thing they feel is sadness. And then the next thing they feel is, okay, you know what? Okay, I may as well go with this dude here, the colonizer, because you ain't going to stand up to him. Clearly, you say he's the better man. You know what? I'm going to run this back for y'all. Because like I said, I want to give you the ammunition to use. The next time one of them try to pop fly at the mouth, like I said, you might want to screen record this. See, I'm going to show you. I ain't never seen no brother that I know talking like this about no goddamn alabaster man or nobody. Look, we're defiant people. We have that in our bloodline. We don't know what it's like to submit like that. Look, man, I'm going to tell you like this. My grandparents always told me as a small child, before you give up, you give out. There is no way on my ancestors that I would ever submit like this. You would have to kill me before I talk like this. All right, no, I just ain't gonna make it. I just ain't gonna make it. I'm gonna play it one more time before we close here, because a lot of y'all probably thought I was making this up. Nah, this is for real.
Help us. Without your hand, we are nothing. Without the white people, without the white men, there is no life. Africa, to be Africa, it must be Europe. Go see how South Africa looks like today. The white people built it, South Africa. Beautiful South Africa. Just because of you white people. You are a great kingdom. You were blessed by God to be who you are today. God blessed you. You are a fighting hand. Thank you, I love you. I want to be somewhere. You go connect me with the drug world in America.
Yeah, that's what a lot of them guys that you see jumping on them inner tubes and trying to stow away in cargo on planes, fleeing every which way they can, every way except for going home to fix their problems. That's the mindset they have. And see, in closing, let me say this, because I know the history of South Africa and many other countries on the continent and in the Caribbean. Let me say this and condemn that defeated, tetherized bastard right there, because your punk ass disrespected Winnie Mandela, who was one of the most solid riders in South Africa. When her husband, Nelson Mandela, was locked up, that's what said, nope, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. Pass me that AK. Let me go and get these people together. We finna go ahead and take the fight to you motherfuckers until we get this country back. Huh? I know the history. You disrespect. And look, for those of you that don't know, you probably don't know this. Winnie Mandela was the one that raised and coached Julius Malema that's over there giving them hell right now in the EFL. Shout out to them, okay? Because they're not backing down. They got an uphill battle dealing with some of the hard heads over there, but hey, that brother's doing the best he can with what he got, and he ain't backing down. So see, when you think about, the history of your people, it won't allow you to disrespect your ancestors like that. There's no way that I could end up having that sentiment that he just espoused here, knowing the history of what my personal family went through and our ancestors here in this country, okay? So again, and this time one of them try to pop fly at the mob family, you hit them with that, all right? So family, I think I made my point. These are the types of minds that you can't unify with, because if they've been colonized at that point, ain't nothing you can do. They see the enemy as somebody that they're supposed to align themselves with. And if that's their choice, fine, but it's going to be a permanent choice if we see that's what you are. And that goes for people in our own lineage, okay? Because at this hour of our history, we've gotten too close to achieving what we're trying to do for ourselves as a collective, and we're not going to go backwards. We're only going to go forward. So salute to all the new subscribers. Thank you to all the contributors that have contributed over here. And yes, I know that the contributors list is backed up, so I'm going to be compiling that on the next post, because that's something I do over here is shout out everybody that support this platform. Like I said, I'm going to, couple of announcements before we close. I'm going to have a follow-up to that Sha'Carri Richardson broadcast, because I got some new information on that. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to deal with that on Patreon. And the last announcement tonight, some of you have probably already seen this. If not, look over in the playlist section. We are bringing back the cheering. Now, what are the cheering? Oh, that's right. That's right. I went old school Southern dialect. Y'all don't know nothing about that if you ain't from the South. Cheering. That's right. It ain't children. Children, the children of the chalk. Yes, we are bringing back the Children of the Chalk series. You know, for a while, the Alabama supremacists were all butthurt that we had to move to Patreon. But this is what we're going to do, right? We bringing it back. And if you go and look over in the playlist section, you know we have a scheduled broadcast. It's going to be on the 19th. Oh, boy, y'all ain't going to believe that. We're going to teach on that, but I warn you, we going to get our jokes in on that, boy. Boy, y'all going to love that broadcast, okay? So now the new format is going to be this. If it's more benign subject matter, I will have that over here on the main channel for public display. But if it's more graphic, as some of the upcoming Children of the Chalk episodes will be, I will definitely have to cover that on Patreon, so you can join us over there if you would like to see that. But, and the other thing I got to understand, let y'all understand is this. I got a new intro worked out, but I can't play that one on PukeTube because it'll be age restricted. Because y'all know I've been experimenting with the AI. Oh my God, if they would have let me play that on here, and it's not really vulgar, it's just what I had in there. So I'll have to play that intro on Patreon, but we're going to use the regular one over here until I can kind of work around the new intro and come up with something else. But just know we about to have some fun because, boy, if they thought that it was bad before, oh my goodness. Woo, white folks, you ain't seen nothing yet, boy. We gonna learn you about coming over here trying to harass and troll black people. Oh yes, that Children of the Chalk series, we gonna expose your least best and your least brightest, all your cousin loving and sister relationships that you got going on. We gonna expose it over there. And if you ain't familiar with it, this will be the time before the 19th to binge watch the Children of the Chalk series. You'll get quite the thorough education over there. That said, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be proud of your lineage. Good night to you. Salute to you. Black first. And I will see you all in future content.